what made front page news from last week, elder statesman Edwin Clark has written a scathing letter to the Inspector General of Police calling for the arrest of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. Clark accused Wike of treason over inflammatory remarks he made where he allegedly threatened to burn down certain states if provoked. Clark's letter claims that Wike's behavior is unbecoming of a public official and poses a danger to Nigeria's democracy, urging the authorities to take immediate action.
Now, at the heart of this crisis is the political turmoil brewing within Rivers State and the wider PDP structure. Clark's concerns over Wike's unchecked influence, coupled with the accusations surrounding his vast wealth, have ignited a national debate about accountability, public office, and political impunity. Now, these tensions also hint at the potential for deepening rifts within the PDP, which could have far-reaching consequences for the political stability in Rivers State and also beyond.
And so joining us today to delve deeper into the issue is Chibike Ikenga. He's the Publicity Secretary of the Rivers State APC Caretaker Committee. Mr. Ikenga has previously raised concerns about the governance of Rivers State and is uniquely positioned to offer insights into the unfolding crisis. We also have with us Mr. Umar Sani. He is the former Special Advisor, Media and Publicity to former Vice President, Architect Mohammed Namadi Sambo. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Thank you so much, and good morning.
Good morning.
So, gentlemen,
thank you for having me, and good morning to you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Gentlemen, we want to begin by, first of all, finding out what your positions are. Edwin Clark has called for Wike's arrest and also trial for treason over his remarks. Now, do you believe Wike's actions justify such a strong response from Edwin Clark, or is this a political overreaction? Let me start with you, Mr. Ikenga.
Thank you for having me once again. I think that the non-Nigerian is overreacting, premised on his frustrations about their conspiracies to push the very strong politician out of the presence of the Tinubu-led government, particularly the fact that the Edwin Clark is a clannish and ethnic-based politician who is leveraging on the disagreement between Governor Simfubara of Rivers State and his benefactor, Chief Nyesom Wike. And because it has become very impossible for Edwin Clark and cohorts to undermine the relevance of the FCT minister in the PDP and generally in the policy of Nigeria, he chose to go that route to try to undermine him and make him look less important before the president of Nigeria and Nigerians.
Now, Mr. Omar, if you've heard what Mr. Ikenga said, how do you interpret Edwin Clark's remarks regarding treason on the side of the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike?
Well, although I hold the same view with Mr. Ikenga over the overreaction issue, but I differ with him in terms of the reasons that he advanced. I believe that the elder statesman, Edwin Clark, overreacted by saying he should be arrested. Well, it goes contrary to the spirit and letter of our Constitution, which gives you the right to express yourself, the right to free speech. However, what the security agencies ought to do was to invite him to come and explain to them what he meant by those words he uttered. If they are found to be treasonable, then the police can take further action. However, if they are found to be actions relating to provocation, because his structures were going to be taken away, and he spoke, provocatively, because he's very angry that the governors have now united against him. That's a different matter altogether. But by and large, putting it succinctly, it is not proper for the party not to, and for people who love the party not to react to certain things. Of course, Edwin Clark reacted because he felt that the party Wike had undermined the party. And having undermined the party, he is now in a position enjoying the benefit of that action of undermining the party, within the APC. And of course, he had also made a declaratory remarks saying that in 2027, he was still going to undermine the party because he will still stand on the mandate. He will be with Jagaban. So that is an issue that should generate anger within our party. And nobody hates Wike, but we do not believe that our party that is trying to re-strategize to be able to win both Rivers and the national election should be undermined in the manner in which Wike is doing. That is the reason why people go against him and nothing more.
So I have to ask you, Mr. Sani, given Wike's very vocal position on where he stands, he's never hid where his support lies. He's never hid where his loyalty lies. In fact, he has been name-calling members of the PDP, whether in the National Working Committee or high-level officials of the PDP. He has been very vocal. He's insulted them, and he's also threatened with his statement, threatened to set fire to states, to PDP governors who support Fubara. And so I have to ask you, is the PDP ever going to make a stand against Wike? And in the right of, to make a case for Mr. Edwin Clark, for Sir Edwin Clark, is he overreacting if the leadership of the PDP refused to take a stand?
Well, the leadership of the PDP cannot and will not refuse to take a stand, because this is not a matter that is only left within the purview of the National Working Committee. This matter has to go to the National Executive Committee of the party, and the party must take a position. You cannot have somebody who has made a clear statement that I will fight the party in 2027, and then you say, okay, we will not take any action. That is not in the spirit of our party. One of the greatest pressure group within the party is the Governors Forum. And the Governors Forum, for the first time, initially it was left at the purview of the former presidential candidate of the party, Atiku Abubakar and Wike, sparring, verbally over the media space and fighting within the party hierarchy. But now, one of the strongest pressure group within the party, which is the Governors Forum, are now united. And they're not only united, they are also unanimous that the leadership of the party in Rivers State must be left to Fubara, who is the governor, and which is the standard procedure within the PDP, that the governor is the leader of the party. So having taken that stand, of course, Wike will be provoked, because perhaps in some of them he had allies before, and now they are now jettisoning him and following due process. So his reaction is natural. It comes with anger. Look at Makinde, who is my man. He's now still joining them. Look at the governor of Plateau State, whom I helped during the case in his case in the Supreme Court. He's jettisoning me. They are all ganging up. Look at Fintiri, who is my friend. He's jettisoning. So Bala Muhammad used to be my friend. They are all leaving me. They are now drawing battle lines against me, and then they are now going to support somebody who has been disloyal to me, somebody whom I brought to become the governor. Naturally, such actions of Wike will naturally come into play. He will naturally be angry. But Edwin Clark's frustrations and anger, I think, are much more than the issue of Wike, on this matter. I think Edwin Clark is summarizing his anger first, because Edwin Clark is reputed to be Jonathan's strong man during Jonathan's period. And being Jonathan's strong man, he has been working for the progress of Jonathan and so forth and so on. And he believes that Wike has not given Jonathan his dues, been the person who actually helped him to become governor. And he has insulted anybody who had crossed his path, including the person he said is his mentor, that is Peter Odili, and his wife. As he has also insulted his very good friend, Uche Secondus, that they have come together. He has insulted most of the people around him, Austin Okwara, who was the deputy speaker, and so forth and so on, all of them. So these have, naturally created, a serious problem within the PDP River State, and that the PDP River State is divided, and those people that Wike had sidelined are now, they team up together now, and they are supporting Fubara. And naturally, Wike will also believe that, one of the greatest treachery of Fubara is to bring those people whom he felt were against him, and now they are now part and parcel of him. So it's a very complex situation.
All right.
But I think the situation is now cooling off.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Sani. Let me come to you, Mr. Ikenga, and just ask the question. Mr. Fubara, you said that Fubara's statements are not, you don't see it as incitatory. Does that mean that as opposition, you are in support of his statements?
Wike's statements.
Of Mr. Wike's statement?
Okay, quickly, let me respond to Sani. I think that Sani made some wild generalizations. I know that Sani and the names he mentioned in PDP, Edwin Clark, Secondus, Atiku, Abubakar, to mention but a few of them, are very pained with Wike's victory over them. Recall that these persons he mentioned, Sani mentioned, are the same people who went against the PDP constitution about rotational presidency. President Mohamed Buhari did 8 years, and ordinarily presidency ought to return to the South. But these same characters he mentioned, including himself, supported that presidency should go back to the North, which Chief Nyesom Wike and like minds kicked against. And because of the bruises they sustained in that war, politically speaking, they have not forgiven Chief Nyesom Wike because he came out victorious. He tried to say what he wanted to do and was clear on it, and he defeated them fair and square. All the names that Sani had bandied around have become political featherweights in view of the emergence of Chief Nyesom Wike in their PDP. So, and the type of politics Chief Nyesom Wike had brought into being in Nigeria has never been seen before. It's quite unprecedented. And it's expected that envy, jealousy will come together. He's mentioning governors who were with Chief Wike before and who are no longer with him today. Those are things that he is conjecturing. They are neither here nor there because Chief Nyesom Wike, at the time PDP collapsed completely, came to the rescue of PDP. And for that reason, had remained very strong. He has his own team in the PDP. He is a member of the PDP. And then when he came to the presidential election, he told them that if you fail to support a certain president, I was going to work against your northern presidential candidate. And he didn't say that in the secret. He came out openly to say so. And all of them who have been around the same team with President Atiku Abubakar and Sani and Secondus, to mention, like I said, but supported that power should return to the North after 8 years. And Wike chose to support a southern president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and worked as seriously as the only governor from the south here and beyond that won the presidential election in APC for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And the recognition President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had accorded him in view of his own input is what is their pain. They cannot withstand it. They don't understand. But they have also forgotten that as Minister of the FCT, Wike, he has an outstanding performance. He has spectacularly changed the narrative in the FCT. So these are some of their problems. They cannot sit down to imagine someone they, quote and unquote, did say it was irrelevant. Someone they said, quote and unquote, has nothing to offer to Nigerians. But
Mr.
today,
Ikenga,
it is clear that Wike is doing clearly to
Mr.
supporting the
Ikenga.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's and APC's renewed hope agenda.
Yeah, but
That is that.
Mr. Ikenga,
Yes.
is that okay? So yeah, thank you so much. But let's circle back a bit back to the crisis within the PDP and also in Rivers State. If he's working at a national level because of zoning for presidency of the country, there is still things that he's doing within the party and within the state. And so I have to ask you, all of the statements that he has made against Fubara, who is your governor of your state and is supposed to be supported, but has made incitory comments and also said he will set fire to states of PDP governors who support Fubara. Are you saying that you support his move and you support him and all of the statements that he's made?
Okay, I don't know what statement you say he made against Fubara in this instance. He didn't make any statement. Allow me to finish. He did not make any statement against Fubara. Neither did he mention the name of Fubara. He spoke to the governors of PDP and warned that structure is all about politics and that he has taken his time over the years to entrench his structure, which also produced Governor Sim Fubara. Forget about the disagreement that has come today, and some of these persons mentioned have gone to align with the governor, encouraging him to rebel against his benefactor. And then, if some PDP governors today have said they want to take his structure and give it to anyone else, you expect him to fold his hands? Taking his structure from him and give it to someone else in his state is tantamount to creating political crisis in the state, particularly in his party. And it was on the basis of that, he did say that same thing you want to do in my state. If you try it, I am also going to replicate same in your state. Fair and square.
How exactly does he mean he's going to replicate it? What exactly did he mean by he would replicate this same instance in their states? What was he talking about? Is this a physical thing? Is this a political move?
Take his structures and give it to someone else, maybe the governor of the state. Let me be more specific. And then by doing so, they are trying to create crisis in his party within Rivers State. And that he has his structure, he has the capacity, and you know that as well, to also create such disagreements within PDP in their own states. And when such things continue to happen, they'll be distracted as governors from good governance and focus on settlement of political crisis within PDP.
All right, Mr. Ikenga. Mr. Umar, you've heard plenty that Mr. Ikenga has said. He's implicated some of the names that you have mentioned. I'm wondering if you have a response to everything he's just said now.
Ordinarily, I'm not supposed to respond to Mr. Ikenga because he is not a member of the PDP and he doesn't even understand the constitution of our party. He appears to be pontificating over the issues. First, he quoted the constitution of the PDP as saying that power must rotate from the north to the south. And if I can remember, the last president of Nigeria within the confines of the PDP, which is within the rim of the constitution of the PDP, is Goodluck Jonathan, who is from the south. So within the PDP, the next available president should come from the north. So that is not an issue. And it could not have been an issue, if not because Wike contested under the platform of the party and lost. And because he lost, at the convention ground, Wike had already, during his speech, participatory speech, he said anybody who comes out from here is going to support him. But because of his personal and pecuniary interest, he decided to renege on that and use some political subterfuge to make some incendiary claims that that the power must return to the south, chairman must be removed. All those things were political gimmicks intended to frustrate the party from moving further. So it is a case of, if I cannot get it, nobody else can. And that was what he used in that respect. More so, nobody is against Wike, but we are against his actions. His actions are undermining our party. And because he is now partly a member of the APC and partly a member of the PDP, as he claims, naturally, I expect that Ikenga should be excited that a member of the PDP is now supporting their government. And so because he is supporting their government, he has to come out strongly to support.
Mr.
Again,
Sani.
if he assisted Fubara, to become governor, does it mean that he has to lord it over him? Won't he allow him to run the affairs of the state?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because then it begs to ask the question, how did Wike amass such political power within the party? So much so that he's been able to do the things that he's done, make incisive comments, name calling at executives of the party, and has said consecutively, repeatedly, without fail, that he will still work against the party in 2027. How has he amassed so much political power that the party itself, up until now, the leadership has been somewhat dilly-dallying and not taking a stand?
It is not about amassing. In 2023, and prior to the elections, the governors put their heads together. Like I said, one of the greatest pressure groups within the party is the governors forum within the party. And Wike was a major factor within the governors forum at that time. And so he was able to bring them together to say, okay, this time around, a governor must be president and a governor must be vice president. And the governors bought his idea because, of course, they are the greatest pressure group. And so when they now decided on this, they now decided to take over the structures of the party, all of them. It was not Wike that took over the structure. It was a general consensus. Otom brought Ayucha Ayu as the chairman. Bala Mohammed brought Damagun. Tambuwal brought Bature, and Arapaja was brought by and even the publicity was brought by the governor of Oyo State. So it's a combination of people who were also with him. They were governors. Now the same people who had worked with him to do all these things have now come out to say, no, we have done that with you. Now, we are now going back to the natural thing. And the natural thing is we will allow a governor to also be in charge of the state.
Mr. Marsani, thank you very much. Mr. Ikenga, real quickly, just wanted to ask before we go, we're out of time, but will the APC take advantage of the PDP crisis currently going on inside of the state? What is their next move? Real quick, sir, if you don't mind.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sani has made utterances justifying why the presidency ought to have returned to the North. The PDP constitution is not superior to the constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, wherein power rotation was expressly put in place. So for him to justify the fact that after President Muhammad Buhari, that it was supposed to be Vice President Atiku Abubakar is most unfortunate. That power grabbing mentality will not happen in Nigeria. There is rotational presidency and we insist on it. And it was on the basis of that, Wike did all that he did. And I support him.
It's very interesting that... It's very interesting that APC is saying you will make the statement of power grabbing, but we've seen how very top officials have made bigoted statements and made such statements, especially during the running of the elections, with a slogan like "Emilokon," which literally means "it's my turn."
No, hold on. Let me ask you. You the anchors who are anchoring this program, you have said, you particularly the lady, you have particularly said we came making inciting statements. You have repeated it like 3 times. What inciting statements did he make?
If you say you say,
why...
Mr. Ikenga, if I say I will set fire to certain states if they do not stay out of the business in my state, what does that mean? What it means is that I'm going to create a political crisis in your party if you do create in my own party. And so that is what? What does it mean? No, I'm asking you. If you make such a statement, what does it mean? How would you call it? Who fired the first salvo? So on APC in River State, I want to tell you clearly that we are on the march to taking over the reins of governance in River State, and we will retain the presidency at the national level. Sani, my friend, is unhappy that his party member
and strong man, Chief Nyesom Wike, is helping APC. He did help APC to win presidency in Rivers State.
Mr. Ikenga, we're very curious about one
PDP
thing.
to win the National Assembly members. I
Mr.
understand
Ikenga.
how painful it is. He wants Chief Wike back. We
Mr.
are
Ikenga,
looking for Chief Wike
we're very curious about one thing, Mr.
That
Ikenga.
is politics.
If you would please let me ask, Mr. Ikenga, in all of this, with the heads here fighting, whether PDP or APC, regarding the people of whom this is most consequential, where do they stand in this imbroglio between the parties that are responsible? Is anybody considering them, the people who they're supposed to be serving? What do you have to say to that?
You need to ask me that question, that the people is the resident deterrent.
Because nobody has said anything about the people. It's always been talk about the leadership and the fight between
zoning
and the zoning and all of that. But what about the people of Rivers State?
If you allow me to speak, I'm telling you that the reason for government to be instituted in the first place, the reason data of government, is to provide security and welfare of the people. And that is what should be most paramount. Leadership must aim to ensure that provision of social services are made for the people, security and all that. And finally, let me say something. This discussion here is not about internal workings of PDP. This is about statements made by Chief Edwin Clark against our illustrious son, Chief Nyesom Wike, and then we condemn in its entirety the statements from Chief Edwin Clark.
All right.
Noted.
Noted, Sumo. Thank you. Many thanks to our guest today, Mr. Chibike Ikenga, and also to Mr. Umar Sani. I want to say thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking out your time in this Sunday morning to join us on this conversation. Many thanks again.
Now stay
Thank you.
tuned.
Good morning.
Because